lines into camera 2.
Quays News with Rin Monk and Ellie Richards. Coming up, protests were a fair slice of the dough. Why staff at Pizza Express are unhappy about how tips are divided.
40,000 runners partook in Manchester Marathon last Sunday, raising money for several charities.
A police bill will...
The Manchester Marathon raises over £3 million for charities each year. Each with their own story to tell.
For Prevent Breast Cancer, which is particularly close to our hearts.
A lifestyle illegal affecting the Gypsy Roma traveller communities as fines and jail sentences may be imposed.
Ties my community.
The opening of a new chip shop sparks rivalry at Salford Shopping Centre, with pre-existing shop Kingfisher now having competition. Our top story is about tips and what happens to them when you leave at the restaurant.
You might think that you are leaving the tips for the staff who served you or that it's shared, but that conflict has led to protests in Manchester and is all down to a new policy in Pizza Express. Georgie Hepson has more.
of a tip at Pizza Express to waiters used to be shared with the kitchen team. It is now a 50% split. Due to ratio of back and front of house staff and shifts, this arrangement means that back staff receive more on an individual basis than waiting staff.
It's a National Day of Action and I'm in Piccadilly Gardens, Manchester, outside Pizza Express, where protesters are raising awareness about the lowering of their salary.
They've taken away some of the tips that the front of house staff get and use that to essentially subsidise the low wages that they pay the kitchen staff. We're saying that shouldn't be the case, that the front of house are entitled to their tips, but also that the kitchen staff deserve a fair pay.
Trying to pit kitchen workers and wait staff against each other, but really they're the ones who are paying terrible wages to both of them. I think as a trade unionist, as a socialist as well, every single right we have at work and in society was won by workers getting organised, fighting against the bosses to better our conditions.
I'm now going to talk to a waitress at Pizza Express to see how tips affect her.
Because most businesses have converted to just taking card only, not many people have cash anymore, and because cash tips you tend to get to keep yourself as a waiter, it's quite tough to not basically get as many tips as you used to, and people obviously because of financial difficulties are a bit less lenient to give tips at the moment, so I've definitely noticed quite a steep decrease in the amount of tips that we've been getting.
Georgina Hebson, Quays News.
At Quays News, we asked you for what you do when you go to a restaurant. This is what we got from you guys. Who decided that waiters' tips got shared 30% to 50% with the kitchen team?
It was actually the chairman of Pizza Express, and it was the chairman of Pizza Express, but it caused an uproar as the staff at the restaurants didn't know that this was going to happen.
How is that affecting the waiting staff?
It's affected the staff as it's causing tension between the kitchen staff and the house staff, as instead of the kitchen staff being paid a fair wage, they're being replaced by tips.
The Police Crime Courts and Sentencing Bill, it could be outlawing an entire way of living. It will give authorities the power to impose fines, jail time, and seize the homes of people stopping on private land.
As you'd expect, the Gypsy, Roma and traveller communities are not happy. I've been speaking with them to find out more. Drive to Survive, something Gypsy, Roma and traveller communities have done for over 500 years. A fitting title for a campaign against a bill that will impact this way of life in England and Wales forever.
The bill, unless it is amended, is going to traumatise my community.
500 years in this country, over 1,000 years of being oppressed. We will never back down, we will never roll over. We're gypsies, Roma and travellers, and we're here to stay.
The land that was our land base for centuries has been taken away by urbanisation, by development, by the privatisation of everything. So we're forced into places like this in order to survive and to stay together as a community.
There are currently 1,700 Gypsy, Roma and traveller households on the waiting list for legal pitches, and only 59 pitches nationwide, forcing these people onto unauthorised sites.
We've got to draw the balance between their right to live their nomadic lifestyle and their right to find somewhere to pitch up, and the right of people, if you own land, for that land not to be used. What should happen, and does happen in many cases, is that local authorities should ensure that there is ample space, proper legitimate space within a local authority or within a wider area where these travellers can pitch up.
Still, the question is unanswered. In the meantime, where are these communities meant to go?
First, try and understand a community before you try and legislate it out of existence.
Drive, you say to survive, drive, survive, drive, survive. When I say drive.
The second biggest marathon in the UK has returned to Manchester after being postponed last year to the pandemic. People came from across Europe last Sunday to participate. This event aimed to raise millions of pounds for charity. Sophie Rumsey reports.
The marathon raises over £3 million for charities each year. After months of training, over 40,000 runners came to Manchester, each with their own story to tell.
For Prevent Breast Cancer, which is particularly close to our hearts because our lovely friend Lindsay here is a breast cancer survivor.
Cancer Research UK is one of the many charities which partners the marathon.
So today we've got over 1,000 runners taking part in the event, and we're hoping to raise £350,000 to go towards our research.
Many people are running today with the motivation of remembering or supporting a loved one.
We're trying to raise awareness and raise funds all at the same time, because like all the other charities, they've not had the support over the last couple of years because of the pandemic. And we're running for a mum because we lost a mum a couple of years back to dementia.
For SANS, after losing my son in 2014, it's a very good charity. It's for stillborn children.
A charity very impactful for many is the Royal Manchester Children's Hospital charity, which supports childhood illnesses and mental health.
I wanted to do this for Children's Hospital. My daughter had some treatment a couple of years ago. She had a brain tumour removed in 2019, so we vowed to raise some money for Children's Hospital charity. So I decided to do 3 marathons in 3 weeks. So I did London last weekend, Manchester today, and then I've got York next Sunday. Then I'm going to have a rest.
It was a well-deserved medal for everyone who took part in the run and a huge success for all the charities.
Now moving away from Salford, conflict on the M25 today near Lakeshire Shopping Centre in Essex. Isolate Britain protesters were blocking the road. Not ideal if you were trying to get to work or take the kids to school. Angry motorists ripped banners out of protesters' hands. One mum even threatened to drive through the protesters to get her son to school. Police made 35 arrests.
The European Union is to reduce checks on goods moving between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. This is an attempt to address the row between the UK and the EU about post-Brexit checks. This system, called the NI Protocol, puts barriers on the sales of chilled meats and broader products. The UK's Brexit Minister Lord Frost proposed lands for an entirely different deal, replacing the current Northern Ireland Protocol. He says keeping the current arrangements would be a historic error.
Actor William Shader, best known for playing the character Captain Kirk, becomes the oldest person to go to space. Mr. Shader blasts off to orbit on a rocket system developed by Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. The craft safely landed today at 4 p.m. British time. This was only the second crew on board the Blue Shuttle, the first being Jeff Bezos, his brother Mark, and Dutch teenager Oliver Deeman.
Has a favourite Salford eatery had its chips? If you know Salford Shopping Centre, you know about the King's Fishers. But it's under threat from a chippy chain that is trying to net its customers. Robbie Sturgis has this one.
But that got challenged a few weeks ago when new chain fish and chip shop restaurant Mother Hubbard's came to the precinct. I came to Kingfisher to talk to their owners about how they felt about the new addition.
Obviously it's a positive thing because it's bringing jobs, creating jobs for the area. It's filling up a unit on a centre. Nobody wants to go to a shopping centre and find empty units. And creating jobs is never a bad thing. In terms of competition, you can never avoid, as a small business, a big business, somebody coming and doing the same job that you're doing.
The new competition had the potential to batter Kingfisher, but luckily that wasn't the case. I asked the owner how business has been since Mother Hubbard's moved in.
The first day it opened, it didn't affect us at all, trade-wise. The following week, we saw a slight decline in business. We expected all of our customers to try it, as you would, but they've all come back, so I don't know whether that's a testament to our business or whether it's a testament to their business.
Kingfisher has stood the test of time of a lot of businesses on the centre. They've been successful since 1983, but this wouldn't be the case without their group of loyal customers who have kept the business going for over 40 years.
I've talked to my mum about it in the car coming here because my son's told us that it's open. so we will give it a go.
Coming back here, not been to Mother Hubbard's now.
You know, we watch children raise into adults and then they've got children now, so it's not just a case of, you know, cooking fish and chips should become part of each other's lives over a really long period of time.
Local businesses don't only build a stronger economy, but a stronger community as well. Kingfisher's success is a perfect example of this in action. Ruby Sturgis, Quays News, Salford.
Theatre communities have been left in a state of limbo about future performances throughout the pandemic. Statistics have brought attention to whether the industry has been negatively impacted by the virus. However, now that performances are in full swing, performers are optimistic about the future. Sophie Green reports.
I thought we were going to do like...
The entertainment industry was one of the worst hit sectors, raising the question to whether COVID-19 has impacted the future of theatre.
Government statistics show that the creative industry is worth £84.1 billion a year, providing 1.9 million jobs. According to a BEC2U survey, nearly half theatre workers were laid off during the pandemic. Theatres like the Lowry were forced to close their doors and wait patiently until further notice.
However, performing arts students are optimistic that the adrenaline of a curtain call will not be ruined by the pandemic.
There'll be a lot more, not more opportunity, but a lot of opportunities because people have been holding back on what they can do for so long, and now it's like time that everybody will come out and be creative and want to make things and want to be part of things again.
Yeah, I know so many people in lockdown who started writing new work, and obviously there's going to be a backlog of work, there's going to be constantly new things being put out there. So even though it's been a really hard hit part of the industry with shows weren't on, I do think after it will be because people have missed it so much, there will be a peak.
Precautions at the theatre have also taken centre stage to prevent the spread of the virus. Use of COVID passes, face coverings and social distancing are used to continue the standing ovations.
I think a lot of people are comfortable and I think they're more excited than apprehensive from what I've seen anyway.
Despite box office tickets being on pause over the last year, cast members are staying optimistic about the return of showcasing their talent. Now that the curtains can rise once again, there's a sense of excitement about the prospects of performances. Sophie Green, Quays News.
The new Salford edition of the board game Monopoly is now on sale, showcasing landmarks of the city.
Monopoly has launched its very own City of Salford board here in Media City, and it's included many of our fantastic locations, including where I am right now, and it's celebrating history, culture and of course our very own Salford people. So I have grabbed from the street student Grace Clark, who I'm going to do a quick game with. Now Grace, can you name 3 of the features that are on the board in 5 seconds, okay? 5 seconds.
Cathedral, that's got to be on there. Salford Lads Club.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
3, 2,
last one.
1. You can do it. No. Do you know what? They were all perfect there, despite the last one, but it's okay. Now, are you planning on buying the board?
Absolutely, 100%. Sounds like it would be great fun.
Definitely. I mean, it's so exciting here. Everyone is so excited. You can buy the board almost anywhere in Media City, including Quayside and of course online, which is brilliant because it's just in time for Christmas.
That's all from us today at Quays News. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at Quays News. Goodbye and see you next week.